Hey, Sean.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming on the show. I love having you on. I've always loved having you on. For the last several years, I've been doing this on YouTube.
Right. And politics has gotten crazier every year.
It has. Here we are in an election year and everything else, all the other crazy stuff that's going on with that, not only. Oh, the other thing, we wanted to discuss the corruption that's going on in Oklahoma. Ryan Walters, the Oklahoma Corporation Commissioner guy, but you know what?
In Oklahoma County.
I just saw where Kamala Harris in 1 month raised $380 million for her campaign. Wow, that's a lot of money.
Here's the thing I would say. A month ago, you and I talked about this, and it's a possibility. We're like,
down 5 points in the polls.
No way.
Now she's within a point and a half.
Right, and I was apprehensively behind her, going, well, you know, we were going to lose with Joe, so at least if we lose, you got a respectable lot. Yeah. I think this might end up being a blowout. I really do.
We'll see what happens.
I hear at my restaurant, so I had 9 women up at my barn in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Women always look around to see if men are around before they talk politics. And they openly talked about her, Democratic politics, their race, and Donald Trump, and didn't give a hoot that 2 men were at the bar. They didn't care. And that's never happened in my 25 years in Oklahoma. So we have moved somewhere.
Well, hopefully they're getting the idea that there's the biggest voting bloc.
Right.
You know, there's no bigger voting bloc than women. Yeah. And man, are they not. I mean, you know, I was like, how can you blow a 5-point lead? Oh my gosh.
So it was his to lose.
Yeah.
All he had to do was, we're talking about DT, all he had to do was keep his mouth shut.
Yeah.
Can't do it.
Can't do it. Neither can J.D.
Vance. What a nightmare.
Weird campaign. Have you seen that? The weird campaign. These people are weird.
Okay, the only way I can describe them is weird. The only way I describe Ryan Walters and his 2 little underlings from Texas, they're weird.
Weird.
Like they're weird boys that don't know how to date girls and they don't know how to talk to girls. So they do this like 7th grade bullying. It's just weird.
Man.
So he brought her up in a meeting. Is it okay if we move on?
Yeah, go ahead. We're gonna go move. Yeah, let's talk about Ryan Walters stuff because let's do this. You know, yesterday was the school board meeting, which is weird. They had it on purpose. On purpose, they moved it around to a different day than it normally is, so that they could disrupt the protest that happened. That was pretty big, from what I saw.
Didn't disrupt anything.
Didn't disrupt anything. Right. And then you got to speak. They pulled your number, and boy, did you let him have it. So
they're doing this lottery system, and I would say the lottery system is corrupt, except it's working for me.
Yeah, it's working
3 times in a row, I won the lottery. And so what you want to look at is every month he makes Tulsa, and 6 people from Tulsa come down and explain how they're doing. That's what you want to start with. Tulsa public schools are kicking ass.
Yeah.
You know why they're kicking ass? We put money in it. We put expert teachers. We put expert ESL people. We put resources, everything you need to make a school better. And it proved that worked. So guess what Ryan doesn't want anybody to know?
What does he not want anybody to know?
That works.
That works.
So he goes and just says this insane stuff after it, and so it never gets in the news. Tulsa never gets in the news. Their ESL program is 18% up from last year. Wow. That never happens. It's like Kamala Harris doing the comeback. Never happens. So they break and they make us sit there for hours. And all they just do anything they can.
They go into this executive session. Now let's talk. This is where the real corruption comes in.
Right, because
this is where the real law breaking happens. With
so explain it, and then I'll jump in.
So anyway, they go into this executive session. Now, in executive session, certain members of the legislature, if not all of them, but
whoever handles them,
especially the people that are on the committees on education and appropriations, they get to sit in on those meetings. That's part of the Open Meetings Act. That's a law, and it can have criminal connotations to it, like large fine and up to a year in jail if you break it. And what did they do, Sean?
So they go in, and what they're trying to do is Mary Boren, who's a senator from Norman, the nicest person at the Capitol. She really is. And Jacob Rosencrantz was there as well.
Yeah.
And both of them wanted to go in. One was from the Senate, one was from the House. This is absolutely, you were supposed to leave the door
definitely on these committees for education.
For money. These are the people giving you money, but Ryan wants to not get money and bankrupt the deal.
Yeah.
You have to know what his idea is first for this to make sense. So he wouldn't let Mary Boren in last time, so she went to the AG. The AG sends a letter, says you absolutely have to let them in.
You got to let them in.
Right. So
but his counsel says something different.
He doesn't have any counsel.
There's a lady that sits there they're paying her $300 an hour.
By the hour, but she doesn't work for them. So like the AG sent a letter, and Ryan.
She's just giving them bad advice.
Well, I mean, no, lawyers aren't necessarily great. You're just paying them.
Yeah.
Who suffers the consequences if you're a criminal and your lawyer screws up? You do.
You do.
Right, same thing there. It's still Ryan's deal.
And this isn't just Ryan. This is the whole board that's
The whole
going
board.
along with them.
And I would love for all of them to have to go to jail because
I would
they have
too.
been complicit on so
I
many
would
things.
too.
And they are just all yes men. They were put there by Kevin Stitt.
Yeah.
Literally, that's how it works.
And this is how they feel comfortable doing this. Oh, we can break the law. We can do all this. We can even get charged with criminal stuff and go to jail because, see,
Somebody will pardon
Kevin
us.
Stitt will have our back and pardon us. And that's what they're looking for.
So the challenge with these guys is they go into this open meetings. This is about their 20th break of Open Meetings Act. I mean, from fire deal to everything else. So they go in, and the first thing they're supposed to do is discuss whether Mary Bourne can come in or not.
Yeah.
They don't discuss that, and they just move to the next thing, which you don't get to do. I've been in city government. He's in city government.
Yeah.
You got to follow an agenda. There are rules. You don't get to just do whatever you want. They come back in having already discussed and voted on the items that Mary wanted to see.
Yeah.
Instead, it was just, I am telling you.
They're blatantly stubbing a nose to the AG here, too.
Oh, yeah, because that's who he thinks is going to run
and that's what they're going to do. See, they're trying to really, now that Drummond is all over him, he's going to try to run over him. That's what he's trying to do to Drummond. But here's the problem with Ryan Walters. He's not a lawyer. He doesn't know what he's doing.
He's not a real fighter.
He's not a real fighter.
We'll get to that in a minute.
We'll get to that in a minute. But and the lawyer he has is obviously just another yes man.
Yeah. Because if they didn't agree with him, he'd fire him. Yeah. I mean, that's all he wants around him.
So that's all this is. I mean, she looks weird. Whenever I was watching her, she had this real worried look on her face. Like, oh my gosh.
Well, they can pull her law license.
Yeah.
If she gave improper advice, right? So they do all of that stuff. They come back in. We're tired, irritated, been up since 2 or 3 a.m., most of us that were out there. I mean, the film crews from the television stations were there at 4 a.m., and they usually don't show up till 6.
Yeah.
So it's an absolute shit show outside. There's a guy doing open carry, but in a holster that's held down.
What was up with that? He had a knife and a gun. That was made the news, too. Guy with a knife and a gun yelling at people, at least until, the highway patrolman came out to monitor him, and then all of a sudden he kind of...
Yeah, he threatened one of the DOD Defense of Democracy people, which was about probably 30 people. I'm a member of that group, too.
What do you do?
So he vaguely said, you all need to watch out. And she goes, what do we need to watch out for? And he goes, you need to be careful because you're snatching kids. Because he's some paranoid internet thing. And this is this stuff that Ryan's selling. You know, like, we'll get to the comment he made, but this guy believes in what he's doing. That's what really sucks. These guys are using people that aren't very... If you read his sign, it's misspelled twice. But he's got his gun, which is not latched in twice, so he would have to get his gun with both hands. I'd take him down while he was trying to
there's this thing. These people are so freaking stupid sometimes, but there's this thing called the 21-foot rule. And this is for law enforcement. They go over this. 21 foot. What does that mean? That means if a guy is within 21 feet of you and your gun is holstered, you're not going to be able to get it out in time before he reaches you. That's the 21-foot rule. And they train police officers this.
Well, anybody with any skill looks at what he's wearing, and you can disarm him pretty quickly. There was a short, fat, old white dude with a goatee. And
it looked like he was like Brokeback Mountain dude.
Right. I mean, this just seems to be the look of the people that do this. And we had ladies in the beginning that were all dressed like the lesbians there said that these ladies were dressed like hippie lesbians. The ladies tried to get me on camera saying that I said it, and I go, no, the lesbians said that about you. It was a compliment. You were cute. They said you were dressed like hippie lesbians, and you turned out to be angry Karen Clan people.
There you go. Yeah.
And yelling at all of them. And so we had this weird back and forth. It doesn't matter. It happens at every event. There's always people there who, like one of the ladies has a lesbian daughter she doesn't speak to, but yet is there yelling at other lesbians.
There's always an old whatever his name, Ranger.
And Ed, Big Ed. Those guys are, hopefully they end up in jail. Look, these guys feel like they can do this stuff because nobody is held accountable.
Yeah, nobody's held accountable. It's hard to do it.
Drew Edmondson put more Democratic county commissioners in jail than anybody.
Well, that's the thing. Republicans don't hold their own. They don't do it. They protect their own. They're in line with each other.
Because they don't want to lose the next primary.
Yeah.
It isn't because they're protecting us.
Yeah.
They don't want to lose the next primary and their paycheck.
It's about power, holding on to it.
Or
paychecks.
Whatever
they can do. Or paychecks.
Yeah. So So they come back in, and Ryan Walters, before I speak, and it's important for you to know, I've gotten rid of 8 or 10 teachers, coaches, etc., that were molesters, pedophiles, etc.
In the spotlight.
In this last year. And you check on it. It's legit.
We even talk about it on the Will Rogers Experiment,
Right.
which you can get on podcast, on iHeartRadio, Spotify, Amazon, Alexa. That's our second. That's the second most popular way people are listening to us. I wonder if it's because I say, "Hey, we didn't even get to it," but I just say, "Hey, Alexa, play the Will Rogers Experiment podcast on iHeartRadio."
Clicks on it in their house right then.
Stop. So there you go, starting for you.
So I have gone way out of my way in very dangerous situations, and there are a bunch of parts of the state I can't even travel to anymore because I got death threats, you know. And then you add child right check on top of that. I got more death threats, all this weird stuff. But so Ryan Walters, before I go up, says, I want to make a statement before public comment. Now, I'm the first person to speak. I'm almost always the first person to speak.
Yeah.
He says, there is a leftist Democrat that is trying to keep pedophiles in school.
Yeah.
He didn't say who it was.
No.
And since I'm the only one that works against pedophiles, does that not sound like it might have meant me?
Yeah.
Now, I enjoy a brawl or two. I do.
Yeah.
I enjoy it. So I went up there and I just tore into him because if you want to fight, let's fight.
You did. You even pointed out all the people that are pedophiles that still have their teaching certificates that he's allowing to have them.
And these are facts. So it's a 3-minute clip. Maybe you can throw it on the end of this just so people can see it. Look, the people I could not get out of office had ties to him and or Kevin Stitt.
Yeah.
They're all still working. And those are people literally, and I went town by town, what they missed, what they didn't miss, people we took down, and literally the other ones all had ties to them.
So we really have a problem with Ryan Walters and his really illegal, outlawish type behavior that he's doing, and it's really turning a lot of people off.
I hope so. So I got a friend of mine, and he's a heat and air guy, he's a big burly guy with a big beard and everything, and he's a guy you would see at a Trump rally.
Yeah.
And he's like, I guess I am going to have to leave my party and go to independence. And I wrote him, I'm like, you've been watching me do this for a year. I've been telling you how crazy this is for a year. Sooner or later, you have to accept the fact you may not like what Democrats say or do. They want to take care of everybody. Isn't that better than this?
Yeah.
I mean, you've got to decide what we want to be. We've got these guys that think they're kings of their little tiny
No kidding, man.
Like literally.
They do. They want to get rid of the Constitution and turn it into a caste system.
But they do want to hold us to that Constitution.
They want to hold it. Well, you know, we're going to be on those lower rungs where we're not going to have as much protection. Pretty much. Dragged out and hung or whatever.
So here's the thing. So I get up and I
actually get emails that say that.
Oh,
I'm sure you
I've had a few. Not emails. I get texts.
Really?
Because my phone number was on the village website.
The email address is on the, you can do it from the YouTube channel and everywhere else. So I'll get emails telling you how they're going to drag it.
You know where we're at. Yeah, you know where we're at.
These are Republicans, conservatives, fellow American citizens. You know, the divisiveness.
Yeah.
Now let's go on.
Okay.
We want to talk about some more corruption that's happening in Oklahoma and just
Todd
Hyatt, who is the chair or corporation commissioner for Oklahoma. This guy got caught in Minnesota, and what was he doing?
So he was drunk, and he comes up to, there's 3 people there, and he has got a guy, and he's checking his arms out and all this other stuff, and he literally reaches down and grabs the guy's junk. Now that is sexual assault, and women put up with stupid shit like this out of men a lot, but what makes it so weird is it's man on man, which is very against conservative values.
And what's even
supposedly
what makes it even
until you know the writer story
is the power play that it is, because he is the chairman of the commission that is in charge of the company this guy was there to represent.
Licensing that deal or figuring out what they can do for raises and whatnot. So it's the ultimate power move.
Yeah.
So you can't say it's the rape word, but it's pretty close because it's power, rape's power.
And either way, it doesn't look good because here he is going, I was so drunk, I don't remember. I'm going to checked into rehab. He goes, he
didn't say rehab. He's dealing with his alcohol.
I thought he checked into check.
Well, he may have by now.
But anyway, I think here's the problem with that. It says in the law, hey, overly public drunkenness is a cause to have you removed and impeached. It really is.
Right, it really is.
It really is.
Evidently in Oklahoma, it's a big enough problem to put it in there.
Not going off with all the other
gross
stuff and the groping and everything else. Not even talking about that. Just that you're slovenly drunk in public.
Right. And you represent us.
And you represent it. So what does he do? He decides, everybody's even asking, everybody said, even on the corporation, man, you need to resign. So what does he do?
Doubles down.
Doubles down, doesn't resign. Why do you think he feels so emboldened not to be able to do that?
Because he believes no one's going to make him do it. So
Kevin Stead isn't going to do anything.
Democrats called for an investigation. Well, we all know what happened. I mean, this was all found out through open records. Folks, you should learn how to do open records. It's so easy, and you can get so much information. Hyatt says he's too busy at work. And what I said on this Channel 4 interview is none of us are too busy. Life will go on without you.
Yeah.
Life will go on without me. If there's one thing I know this year, life goes on without people. It just does. And none of us are that important. Hyatt used to be the Speaker of the House. I mean, my God, man, this was a powerful position and a powerful person. This isn't the first time he grabbed somebody's junk that he had power over.
Because here's the deal. The guy didn't complain. He wasn't the one who complained because he was too scared. So this makes you think, has he done this before? No one's ever come forward? Because the guy did it to didn't come forward.
And he's in his 60s? So
this was other people that witnessed it that came forward.
It was that flagrant.
Yeah.
Right.
It was that,
So you take that one, Kevin isn't going to do anything. I got to be honest with you, right now, Gettner Drummond's a paper tiger to me. He talks a lot, he sends some letters, he hasn't done anything.
Yeah, he hasn't really.
And I like
he went to the Supreme Court and got
and charter school
and the charter school.
I will go with that.
Yeah, and he did the thing with the charter school. So he's moving forward.
And now with the charter school, he needs to throw their asses in jail.
But
because they're in contempt.
They're in contempt. He ought to do. Yeah, let's see how tough are you.
Yeah,
see how tough you are. You know, already he seems like he plays a good chess game.
But I need to see the fighter pilot.
We need to see some follow through.
We need to see the
follow through.
So so let's take this to just one more thing. So then you've got the jail trust, who I have fought against for years. On your show.
This is local corruption. This is Oklahoma County we're talking about. Oklahoma County commissioners.
The commissioners gave the jail to a jail trust, which is a company. Everybody goes, oh no, it's a private public. Nobody can identify what the hell it is.
Yeah.
But they evidently think they don't have to obey the laws that the rest of us that serve food do. They are suing the state health department, saying they can't come in anytime they want, which in the contract it says they can't.
It says they can.
Right. So somebody at the State Department of Health is going to have to grow a pair and literally just go shut the jail down and make them move everybody everywhere and cost them all that money and everything else.
Pretty much.
That's the only way this gets solved, because Gettner Drummond's not going to step in. Vicki Behenna's stuff working in the same building. And when these folks do something corrupt, she always just, I'm their lawyer.
Yeah, well, she's quiet. Yeah. Because she's
the DA, but she's their lawyer. But you can have another department investigate.
Yeah, you can have somebody else.
It's big office.
She's just not doing it. What's going on? She gets too cozy with these people?
I need to see something out of her. I work very hard.
What happened to cause all this? One of the commissioners,
Kevin Calvi.
Okay. Kevin Calvi. Who is that? Miles Davis.
Ryan Miles is now his
bought some land and then sold it to the state like 8 months later for a nice $3.5 million profit
on a $1.7 million piece of land.
Yeah. So that it makes you wonder.
The whole thing's
questionable going on with.
And so we, not me. Del City has a petition going, and they've got enough signatures probably. But they had to get 5,000 people to sign to get Gettner Drummond to investigate this, because the district attorney wouldn't do it.
Oh, man.
And you just sit there and go, I don't know where we are in government. These are real corruption issues. And everyone's like, I just got to keep my hands clean of this.
Yeah.
And you go, no, you're the prosecutor. That is the job you took. You wanted it. Here it is. Take care of it. And I would say the same thing with Drummond. I need to see that fighter pilot come out. I've seen the lawyer.
Yeah,
fine.
And we need to do some things. We just need to see the follow through. Right. We need to see the follow through. That's what we need to do.
And what's happening now is just you've got this big FU thing in federal government everywhere. Everyone's like, "Oh, we need to do this." No, we don't have to do that. And it's back from the Trump era. Yeah. And this is the underlings that think they're important, trying to do the same thing.
Pretty much.
What we got to do is take them out piece by piece. The one thing that I would say to oh God, what's his name? The superintendent of schools, Ryan Walters. I was at the podium 10 feet away from him. I'm like, dude, I'm right here.
Right here,
buddy.
I'm the liberal Democrat you've been talking
about. And you just look down in shame and wouldn't even look up, and you go, oh, tough guy.
Yeah.
So you want to say stuff when all the cameras are on you. I'll go outside and have a friendly man-to-man. I don't mind.
Yeah.
I'm 60 and he's 40. I'll still take that shit on.
Yeah. Well, knowing what I know about, never been in a fist fight in his life, no conditioning or anything else.
Well, he was a tennis player, so he
probably should not.
Probably
shouldn't.
Yeah.
You should learn to de-escalate, which he's not good at.
So then there's an ex-Marine superintendent from Bixby that he called the guy asked about.
Oh, you're right.
This
I saw that. Oh my God.
So the guy asked
He went
about,
after him.
Yeah, ex-Marines are not people to fight.
Yeah.
They were, even me, I'd go, yeah.
But it depends on what they did to the Marines. I mean,
I
know a guy shows up to the gym and the guy showed in. He was in the Marines and he was like, yeah, but and he was like, oh,
he was
like, well, I was in logistics, so
yeah,
he pretty much drove a forklift.
This is a big old giant dude.
Well, okay, you did, but yeah.
So this guy's asking about federal funding that usually comes out in May, and he still doesn't have it yet. And school starts in 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
2 weeks, and we still don't have anything.
And Ryan Walters calls him says he's a liar and a clown.
And a clown called him a clown. Yeah, this is just not becoming of a person of a position.
Statewide office, right?
It's just not. It's just not.
Is it stuff? I would say yes, but I'm not in statewide office.
Yeah. We're going to have to get out of here, Sean. 20 minutes in.
Thanks for having me.
Show.
All right.
Here we are. Hey, Across the Desk. Season 10. We're starting now. We'll be back every week. Coming out, dropping this show on a Sunday for you guys so you can view it. Thank you, Sean, for showing up.
Anytime, brother.
Opening up this thing for me.
I'll see you. All right, man.
We'll see you guys.